Hi, I'm Dinny from Fasting with Dinny, and today I want to talk to you about something that might be a bit controversial, but diets and exercise do not work for 99% of the Western world. Look around, it's obvious. People are working out more than ever, and they struggle with their weight more than ever. And today I want to give you the information so you understand why that's the case. Now, you mightn't expect to hear this from someone who's got decades worth of experience in the health and fitness and longevity space. But unfortunately, within our industry, a lot of misinformation is pushed out and it simply doesn't work for the masses. And I want to tell you what does work so you understand how to work with your body instead of always working against it. And it's going to make sense why everything you've done in the past has been so difficult and the results never last and it's so easy to slide backwards. So buckle up. So just an introduction to myself. My name is Dinny Collins. I've worked in this space for a long time. I'm very passionate about health and fitness because it changed my life. 20 years ago, I had a broken back. I lay in a hospital bed, looked at the ceiling. I was like, please let this pain go away. Just give me one more chance and I'll look after my body. And that sent me down a whole rabbit hole through my rehabilitation from that nasty injury to then becoming qualified as a physical therapist, as a personal trainer. And the changes that I found from getting myself so fit, and I'd done all this stuff, not because I wanted to work in the space initially, I just wanted to learn how to help heal my body, how to work with my surgeons to promote the healing and do all I could. So that allowed me to, then I found that I felt amazing. So not only did I have, was I like out of the bed and walking again, but I had this energy, I had this motivation, I had this discipline, I had this self-confidence, I had this happiness, this buzz that I never had in my life before. And I was like, oh, so this is what being really healthy feels like. This is awesome. Okay, what am I going to do for a career now of a broken back? I'm recovering from that and I can't go back to my old job of steel work. Well, I'm going to teach other people how to feel like this because it's awesome. And that's how I ended up down here and doing this in this career path, which is amazing. So I did find over the years though, our traditional way of teaching people, it didn't work. And that came from one of my first days in college. One of my first days in personal training school, and we're going back a while here, guys. But we were sat down as part of our nutrition, we were taught about the food pyramid and that, you need to eat 6 to 9 portions of processed carbohydrate a day. And we're all looking at each other going like, we're all young, fit lads, we're in great shape. Like none of us eat that much processed carbohydrates. So you'd never be able to see your abs if you ate that much processed carbohydrates. And that was the beginning of my start to go, okay, we need to question all the information that seems to be pushed on us because that is not accurate. And even though we are clueless personal trainers, we know. Now, since then, of course, the food pyramid has sort of faded into the background. And I don't know what food pyramid we're pushing now, whether we turn it upside down or whatever. But I'm going to teach you what does work. So diet and exercise does not work for 99% of the people. And there's a reason for that. I'm not just saying it, okay? It requires constant discipline. Okay, you don't have metabolic flexibility. So if you constantly watch what you eat and you constantly burn more calories than you consume, you can maintain your weight or slightly start to lose some weight. But the second you slip, your body is really, really good at storing fat. It's even better than it used to be before you started the diet. And I'm going to explain to you the physiology of why that's the case now in a second. The first thing is muscle loss, okay? Muscle and bone density are the key to having a healthy metabolism. In fact, muscle and bone density are the key to living a long, healthy life. Okay, you can predict how someone will age by their muscle and bone density. So therefore, if we want to be healthy, if we want to be lean, we need to prioritize keeping our lean muscle mass. Now, especially with females, I've found over the years, females are like, hold on, Danny, hold on. I don't want my arms getting any bigger. I don't want more muscle. I'm trying to get fucking smaller, Danny. And I'm like, I understand your point, but let's break it down. Within an arm, okay, there's a bone, there's a layer of muscle around it, and then there's a layer of fat on the outside. When someone is overweight and struggling with their weight, they have their bone, which is actually a smaller, less dense bone than someone who has more muscle on their body. Okay? Then they have a very thin layer of muscle, and then they have a lot of body fat sitting around the arm. So that's making them, their arm, look big. And they're like, I don't want more muscle, it's going to make me bigger. I want to get smaller than you. However, the point is that someone who's in very good shape actually has a much higher percentage of muscle mass on their body, and therefore they have a much lower percentage of body fat in their body. And the beauty of that is that muscle mass takes energy, okay, so it consumes calories all day, every day, and fat does nothing. It has no calorific costs. So therefore, when we're on a weight loss protocol, we want to do everything that we can to try and restore our muscle mass, okay, rather than reduce it. Now, diets reduce your muscle mass because not only does your body reduce its body fat, but it also starts to reduce its bone density, and it also starts to reduce its muscle mass. And this is disastrous for long-term success. And this is why it'll make sense to you that it's so, why do I put on weight so easily once I stopped the diet? I only went through Christmas and I put on 1.5 stone. And it's like, how is that possible? Because your body's really efficient at putting on fat, because of the diet you've done, you actually got rid of a lot of your muscle. So we have to understand, we have to work with our body and not lose the muscle mass, because the reason we start diets is because we're already struggling with our weight. So if we make our body even better at putting on weight than it was when we were already struggling, it's pretty obvious we're going to run into trouble in the future. Okay? Increased hunger. When we do diet and exercise, and when I say diet and exercise, I'm sort of generically talking about, you know, low calorie diet, low fat diet maybe, and just a load of jogging, just a load of cardio. So when I'm talking exercise, I'm sort of talking steady state cardio. I'm not talking about resistance training, which might be lifting kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells, or bodyweight sort of resistance exercise. I'm talking about like doing spin classes or doing any of these sort of things where we focus on burning calories and all we're doing is burning our muscle. There's a much better way to do it, and I'd love to teach you about it. But when we do this protocol, we just increase our hunger. So it just relies on constant discipline, and it's getting harder because we get hungrier from doing it, okay? And this is to do with the hormonal response, okay? From doing these things, we increase our cortisol, we decrease our leptin, so our body isn't satisfied with the food we eat because the leptin signal is not being heard. And with this raised stress hormone of cortisol, we're just always needing more food. So it just relies on constant discipline, and it's so difficult. Reduce metabolism, okay? Here's the biggie. When you are trying to lose weight, your goal should be I need to increase my metabolism. That's what I need to do. Diets and exercise, reduce your metabolism, okay? And it stems from the fact that we're decreasing our lean mass. As we take from our lean mass, it doesn't take as much calories to maintain it. So someone who has a lot of muscle on their body and someone who doesn't, the person who has more muscle on their body, even if it's the same weight, their metabolism will be much higher. Now, they can both be the very same size person, because remember, body fat takes up twice as much space on the body. So you can have people who in their clothes look the same, but one person is more body fat and one person has more muscle. The person who has more muscle on their body and a thicker bone density will have a much faster metabolism, much more metabolic flexibility, can have their cake and eat it sometimes, whereas the other person will struggle. Okay, so reduce metabolism. Increasing the need to reduce calories. It's like a sliding scale. You reduce your calories to get some results, and you're out running your 5Ks, and then suddenly the weight's not coming off anymore. So now you're running 10Ks, and hey, we get a little bit more weight down, but then the 10Ks aren't working anymore, and you're starting to put on weight again. You see, because you're constantly working against your body's going to keep moving the needle. It's going to be like, okay, you've chronically, and if you just imagine this as working with your body's not designed to be in a constant state of hunger or a constant state of trying to reduce calories. Okay, your body wants to be happy just like you want to be happy. Okay, but when you keep reducing the benchmark, your body keeps going, all right, well, what I'm going to do is, if you're only going to run me on 1,500 calories or whatever the number is, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut it down, because I need that 1,500 calories to run my immune system and run these other things. Okay, and weight loss just isn't a priority to me. I just want to look after, I've other stuff to do here, and you keep taking calories from me, so I'm just going to keep reducing my basal rate so that you're not going to get your weight loss. But the body doesn't care about that. The body just cares, I've other things I need to do. Okay, so it'll constantly just keep reducing the metabolism in steps, and that's why you'll find you have to diet harder and you have to do more calorie burning and more exercise to get what used to come easy. So it's a sliding scale that you can never beat. There's an easier way. Stay with me. You're working against your body. Again, our body is designed to go through periods of being in a calorie deficit. It's just not designed to be in a constant calorie deficit. Okay, just like stress is a good thing. Stress is how we can train our muscles. But if we constantly stress our muscles, we just get injured. Okay, so we're working against our body. We reduce our energy. Doing all this stuff, it's just, well, of course, your body's not working optimally. You're going to have a reduction in energy. So therefore, you're going to have a reduction in motivation. And this is why you always quit and give up and end up putting on all the weight. Back here again. This time I'm going to do it right. And this is like, did Einstein say, it's insanity to try and do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. Reduce the immune system. Again, that just comes when you're giving your body less calories, your body has less energy to actually look after itself and run itself. Okay? Diet foods are expensive. You know, I won't name any of the companies, but there's companies and they sell their foods, and when you look at the ingredient lists, they're long and they're words I can't spell or even pronounce. You know, they don't look really that healthy to me, okay? But it's expensive. The fasting with Anyway is free, and that's what I'll talk to you about, okay? Because fasting and walking works for 100% of people. Yes, diets and exercise might work for 1% of people it works for, long term. I don't mean in 5 years, okay? I don't mean in 5 months, apologies. I mean, show me the person in 5 years' time of doing diets and a load of jogging or a load of cycling or a load of spin classes. Show me them in 5 years. Because I've trained tens of thousands of people in my life. And it's a 1%er, okay? Fasting and walking, 100%. I haven't had a person do it. Again, thousands of people, 100% success rate. And it's brilliant because most people who do this protocol, they end up jacked up that their joints are sore. So they can't actually exercise. They can't burn the calories. Okay, they've got a dodgy knee, a dodgy hip, a dodgy back, dodgy ankle from all the gotta do more calorie burning, gotta do more dieting. They destroy their body. And because they have reduced metabolism, the body hasn't been able to look after the joints. Okay? And this is the beauty of fasting. And this is why I'm passionate about teaching people about it, because everything you know about it is wrong. It's not right. It's incorrect. No metabolic damage. When you do a fast, you don't damage your metabolism. In fact, you do the opposite. Your body increases your metabolism. Because, walk through this with me. I'm a real rational thinking person. Always have been. Our bodies, okay, they aren't aware that there's a Tesco around the corner or that there's a fridge in our house. They're still living hundreds of thousands of years ago. Okay? And if you go for a walk on a winter's day, out in the countryside, have a look around and tell me, if you didn't have a fridge and you didn't have the ability to store food, what would you eat on a frosty morning? There's not much food around. There's no rabbits to catch or find. Nothing's really growing. Okay? So our bodies are designed to go through periods of calorie deficit. Okay? They're just not designed to be in a constant state of calorie deficit, but they're designed to go through periods. And it's how we work at our best, because our body does amazing things throughout this fast. So what our body does is, and again, I'll just stick with my little analogy of working with our body and common sense and working with nature. Would it make sense? Would I be here talking to you today if my body, if Mother Nature hadn't given me the gift that when I go through a fast, I get no energy and I burn on my muscle, which is my greatest asset, which is going to predict how long I live, okay? If I get rid of all that, and I've no energy and I'm out in nature and there's no shops around the corner and I've no fridge and I have to go and find my own food or hunt for my own food. Am I going to survive? No. There'd be no Dinny, there'd be no you, humans wouldn't survive. So what Mother Nature done, in her infinite wisdom, was when a human goes through a period of reduced calories, we protect our muscle. Our body creates all these hormones to protect our muscle mass because this is our biggest asset. We don't want to lose this. We have to protect this at all costs. Okay? But we have this other thing, this dormant energy source, and it's called body fat. And that sits all over our body. Even if you're really lean, with a six-pack, you have 40,000 calories. So most people have much more available. They just can't access it, okay? Because of doing this protocol, they don't have metabolic flexibility. They can't switch from burning sugar into burning fat. So therefore they have loads of fat, and they don't want it, and they don't understand that everything they're doing is promoting the fat and adding more fat, okay? But Mother Nature in infinite wisdom allows us to go into fat burning and say, no, we'll give you loads of energy. In fact, you need even more energy than when you're eating because you've got to go and find food to survive. And we're going to protect your muscle. And you're going to burn your fat because that's what it's there for. It's basically an energy source. Now, this is great for modern life where we just want not to have the fat if we're trying to do, fit into our clothes or lose weight. We're like, I don't like this fat. I need to look skinny. And skinny just means I want less fat. When people say they want to be skinny or want to be lighter, you don't care what the weight is. It's how you look is what matters to people. Okay, what clothes they can wear. And that means you want to reduce your body fat. That's what we have to be focused on, not losing weight. Losing weight is flawed logic. So there's no metabolic damage when you do a fast. Beautiful. Metabolic damage when you do a diet and exercise. That's why you gain the weight back. No metabolic. You restore your insulin sensitivity. So insulin sensitivity is when we eat food, okay? Hold on one sec. When we eat any food, we have an insulin response. Now, what will dictate how well you control your body weight is how well you control your insulin. It's one of the most important things to get your head around and to understand. If you're not controlling your insulin well, you're going to struggle with your body weight. And if you are controlling your insulin well, you're not going to struggle with your body weight. Also with insulin comes, not controlling insulin brings a lot of chronic diseases that us in the Western world suffer from. So insulin's a really important thing. When you do a fast, you restore your insulin sensitivity. We get desensitized to insulin because of our modern diet of a lot of processed food. It means your body has to constantly make more and more insulin, okay, to get the job done. And therefore we get desensitized to it. And the problem with insulin is once insulin is running, once your body's producing insulin, it's not able to burn fat. So it can either do one or the other. So with modern diets, and especially people who are struggling with their weight or their health, they have a constant state of insulin in their body, so they're never able to access their fat cells, and that's why they work out so much and eat so little, and it's so difficult. And then we have our way, where it's so much easier, and it's just information is the only difference. Okay? So you restore your insulin sensitivity when you do a fast, which means your body doesn't have to produce half as much insulin, maybe less than that, okay, to get the job done, which means you're able to transition now into fat burning. So when you do a fast, it's not just results you get during the fast. It's not just, I didn't eat for 5 days, or I didn't eat much food for 5 days and I lost this much weight. It's what the changes that it does to your body post-fast. 3 months after your fast, your body is still making physiological changes. The science backs this up. No muscle loss. I mentioned that already, okay? And even when I say fasting, wait till the end because I want to teach you about fasting with food, which is almost magic. But no muscle loss. When we do a fast, so people watch all these influencers online, okay, and they idolize them. And I'm in the back end of that because I'm in my space. So I get the messages from them, all depressed and they're suffering from mental health, and you know, their life's a mess. Why? Because they're taking anabolic steroids, okay, to look like that. So it's not realistic and it's absolute bullshit, and it's why I get disenfranchised from the whole fitness world, because there's too much bullshit in the space. Okay, and they will die younger. But what are they taking? They're taking testosterone, they're taking human growth hormone, all synthetic blends. Okay, and this is why they'll die sooner. But you can see the effect that these hormones have. You look amazing in terms of what society deems looking amazing is. Okay, on a fast, your body naturally produces these hormones. Okay, so to prevent muscle loss, it increases testosterone up to 2,000%. It increases human growth hormone. That's the hormone of youth. That's why when you were younger, you could eat more food, and you didn't put on weight, and you had way more energy. Your skin looked better. All human growth hormone. Okay? We can naturally get our body to increase our production of these amazing hormones. And that is why people who fast and use it as a protocol, they just look healthier, because they are. Okay? With a fast, if you do a 5-day program, it's 5 days of difficulty. 5 days. This program, 365 days, every day, every year, forever. This program, 5 days, okay? And that's the difference. It's beautiful, because it's not something that you do forever. You go on the program for 5 days, people are losing on our program anyway, 5 to 22 pounds in 5 days, and people are blown away by that. And these are all people who've done this for years, so it's not like they're newbies who are going to lose weight easy. They're people who are disenfranchised with that and finally go, right, I'm going to try the bloody thing, okay? And they keep the weight off. And the difference is, in keeping the weight off, is this slows your metabolism, this increases your metabolism. This increases your insulin sensitivity, okay? Your metabolic flexibility, all the things you need to keep the weight off. But not only that, it increases your motivation, how you feel about yourself. All the mental health comes, because health is basically physical, mental, spiritual, okay? It's all the same. And when we suffer from our mental health, our physical health suffers. And we suffer from our spiritual health, our mental health can suffer, and it's all connected. So by vastly improving our physical health, we can improve all our health, okay? Where am I now? Break sugar cravings. Again, one of the reasons why it's easy to keep the weight off, because once you finish a fast, when I say to people on the 4th day or something like, right guys, what are we going to break the fast with? What are we going to eat? There isn't a single person that says, oh, Dinny, I'd love to eat a Mars bar or a chipper. It's always natural foods. It's like, if you don't know what your body should eat, try a fast and you will understand, because your body will tell you when you get rid of all the nasty cravings and sugar cravings. Okay, discipline. You do something that's difficult for 5 days, you're like, wow, look what I've done. I'm a hero. I can have more discipline in my life. Because guess what? Success comes from discipline. That's it. People who have discipline have success. People who don't have discipline struggle in life. You want to practice discipline? It's a skill like everything else. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. Do it fast. Gratitude. You feel amazing. You feel grateful. okay? And this is a joy. Like every Monday when I get up, I'm like, oh, I'm not on a fast today. Like what I have for breakfast, what a treat. Before I done that, I was like, ah, feckin', you're on a fast. So you really appreciate every single time you eat. And it really does impact your mental health when you do a fast. I find it a spiritual experience. And I think for people who are struggling with mental health, I'd really love them to try a fast, because it really just grounds you, it brings you back to yourself and strips everything away so you can just focus on what is important in my life. And when you realise that, you realise the gift that you have. It's easy. There's no prep needed for a fast. You don't have to go and buy all the stuff and buy the runners and join the gym and everything. You just go, I'm doing it, and you start it. No prep, okay? And it's free. All this stuff can be expensive. A fast is free. Even our fasting kit, which people have to purchase, when you factor in that this is everything you eat, all your supplements, for 5 days, and you're not going to go to a cafe or a restaurant or anything, you're like, well, that's probably how much food I'd spend anyway. Doesn't even cost you anything. It's like magic. And you're working with your body, okay? Because as I say, your body's designed to do this. It's just part of nature. You're designed to go through periods where you don't eat. And I can tell you all the amazing things that happen in the fast on the 5 days, okay? This is your body's chance to rebuild. Now, studies have shown that by doing a 7-day fast will reduce people's incidence of developing cancer in their life by 70%. Like, this is crazy, groundbreaking stuff. People like us who fasted all our life have been like trying to tell you, mainstream this, but mainstream aren't interested. But finally, there's a little bit of funding going into the science, and all the common sense things are coming out, like cellular autophagy, the fact that your body eats all the bad cells, the ones that are going to manifest into something nasty down the line. Well, your body's going through a fast. Imagine it's like a recession in a company. Who does the company sack? It keeps its A players to get through a recession. Anyone who's lazy or not pulling their weight or not an efficient worker, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. And that's exactly what our body does during a fast. It gets rid of, and it only keeps the A players. And then once you come out of the fast, it rebuilds with A player, A player, A player, all amazing healthy cells. Okay, during the 5-day fast, if you do the program with me, I teach you all this stuff. We teach you everything that's going on every day, and that helps you. It helps your motivation, okay? And increase mortality. You just live longer because all the things like reduced cholesterol, reduced blood pressure, reduced weight, reduced insulin sensitivity, reduced insulin, and a million other things. Increased sleep. Like, Google benefits of fasting, and the list is long. So our 5-day program, if I could just tell you that for the last minute, it's not only are you doing a fast, because fasting's hard. I've fasted for 10 years until I discovered the fasting kits. Once I discovered them, I haven't fasted with water because it's too hard. And if I can get most of the results with nowhere near as much effort, well, I will do that. It's called being efficient. So I get 3 meals a day. All right, now they're not Sunday dinners, they're not massive meals, but they get me through it. They're better than a water fast. When you start a water fast on a Monday and you get to a Wednesday and you're like, oh my God, it's only Wednesday. You get 3 meals a day plus a snack a day. Okay, so it gets you through the 5 days. I've got a 100% success rate. Every single person I take through this program has completed it. That's why I offer people a money back guarantee. Okay, do the fast. If you're not entirely satisfied and not entirely happy, you can have your money back. You won't ask, because you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel better than you've felt possibly in decades. But what I give is, rather than just giving you the pack, go along, do it alone, I want you to be in a community, because community is what matters. So we set up a WhatsApp group, everyone introduces each other. On the Monday we start. Some people have done the fast before, some people have done 3 before. They're sharing their experiences. It's highly motivating to the new people. New people are a bit nervous, a bit scared. Oh, can I do it? I'm not sure if I can do it. I've never done it like this before. Community is the secret, okay? And with that comes accountability, because it's not just you on your own, and no one will know if you're quit. You're in a community, and you've got accountability, and you've also got people who are saying, it's easy, I've done it, this is my 3rd one. I'm after losing 4 stone over the last 3 years by using fasting. Crazy stuff, okay? And what I do is I provide the education throughout the 5 days. So every day something different's happening in your body, and I'm teaching you about it, because that inspires you and motivates you. You're like, oh my God, and tomorrow this is going to happen. My body's going to go into ketosis and run itself primarily on my fat. Wow, like how much weight can I lose if I just burn my body fat and I don't burn my muscle and I don't reduce my bone density and I just get rid of the fat, because that's the thing I don't like. And that all boils down to you're highly motivated. I hope you've learned something about why it's so difficult. Okay, fasting and walking can work for people, even if they've been in the typical weight loss protocol where their joints hurt and they can't do all the stuff. Fasting works for everyone. I'd love you to try it. I'd be delighted to have you on one of our programs. Check them out, join us. We're doing them all the time. But the time to do it is now. Don't procrastinate. Life happens now. No one knows there's a tomorrow. Check out the testimonials on our website. For most people, finding this program, trying this program, doing this program has been a catalyst in profound positive change in their life. And I believe fasting is something that it's my duty to try and teach you guys about it. And once you do it, once you try it, you're going to be like all my other clients. You're going to be talking about all your friends going, try fasting, because it's not as hard as we think. Thanks for being here. For now, I'll just say, dinny out. You can share this video with anyone who you might think might get value from it. Send it on to them.